The safety car has been deployed, so the driver will stay in the car until race control says he is allowed to get out. But Nico Müller has buried his car into the wall, and that's a shame because he has such a great qualifying in 7th position, his best for a long time for J-Ox Dragon as well. Brendan Hartley, his teammate, down in 15th spot. Nico Müller, with plenty of experience actually in Formula E, although not in racing conditions, was the test driver for Audi last year and did a lot of development work. But now in J-Ox colours, he was on the outside trying to get past Nick de Vries and just ran out of track basically. Suddenly there was a wall in the way. Very, very strange accident. Just ran a little bit wide and there was no space for him to go. The track, as I say, the barrier comes out towards him. It actually moved the barrier there as well. Such was the impact. But he is okay. He'll be out of the car in a few moments' time and a chance to really get a grip on this Mexican E-Prix. Sam Bird doing very well from Group 1 in qualifying to get himself into the top 6 shootout. Robin Frines, his teammate, also there. They're 4th and 5th right now for Virgin, behind Lotterer, who was our pole man. He dropped to 3rd after being bullied. Mitch Evans and Sebastian Buemi, the two that got ahead of him. Jean-Luc Verne and Antonio Felix da Costa driving for DS Techeetah, 7th and 8th position right now, with Eduardo Mortara for Rocket Venturi in 9th. And then our championship leader for Mercedes in 10th position, Stoffel Vandoorne, slightly struggling with the Group 1 phase of qualifying. That is, I mean, this is a Formula 1 track. This is a track that does get used a little bit more than some of our street tracks in racing trim. So the effect of being in the first group of qualifying, where you've got the track at its dirtiest, was less, but Stoffel Vandoorne still struggled with that. So Lucas di Grassi for Audi in 11th position, Roland in 12th for Nissan, Gianni for Porsche in 13th, Collado for Jaguar in 14th, then Hartley, Sims, who has shown so well that both BMWs had dreadful qualifying, both him and Maxi Günther. Sims is down in 16th right now, not made a lot of progress. And then Felipe Massa 17th, Maxi Günther 18th, Abt in 19th, as I say, crashing in practice 1, taken to hospital because the G sensor went off. It was such a big impact. He's back in the car that he crashed. Audi doing an amazing job to get it back underway. And he is okay. Mark Widhar and Ollie Turvey for Neo, really struggling here. Remember last time out in Chile, we saw Ollie Turvey have an amazing qualifying, getting himself into that top 6. And then the two Mahindras I've already spoken about that had changed their gearbox, so put to the back of the field, and also drive-throughs. Both, I think, took their drive-through before the safety car, so that is actually a real benefit for them. They will be very happy to have had to have the safety car to allow them to get back to the back of the field, to catch back up to the back of the field, shall I say. Whilst we are under safety car conditions, a quick reminder of exactly where we're at. Last year we had 2 races in Diriyah, and the winning drivers were Sam Bird on the Saturday and Alexander Sims on the Sunday. And then we went to Santiago in Chile mid-January, and Maxi Günther for BMW took the victory. But such was the consistency of Stoffel Vandoorne, he was one of the only drivers coming into this race that had scored in all 3 races. And actually, I think it was one of the few drivers that have finished in all 3 races. So Stoffel Vandoorne with a 3rd in both races in Saudi Arabia and then a 6th in Chile. And that's why he leads the championship coming into this race. But such is the spread of talent in Formula E, and such is the early part of the championship that really, when it comes to London in July, anything could have happened. We've got Mexico right now. In 2 weeks' time, Marrakesh follows it. The Sanya E-Prix has been cancelled, and therefore we're not going to China. Instead, we go from Marrakesh directly to Rome, a track we know well. Paris next, also a track we've been to for the last couple of years. And then Seoul and Jakarta over in Asia, 2 brand new circuits, followed by Berlin and New York City. The Tempelhof track is expected to hold a second race, or maybe New York, to make up for the lack of Sanya. And the championship will finish in London. A new track in the XL building, and part of the track will go through the XL building, go inside, and that will be quite a spectacle, especially if it's anything like the UK weather and it rains. Right, safety car is in this lap. We've got 36 minutes remaining of the race, plus one lap, and now we can really get the race started. The field looks very well bunched. Of course, they don't want to use very much energy, but it doesn't matter so much these days, because once that safety car is released, the race control will subtract a certain amount of energy from the cars so that there is still energy management going on in the race. Last year we saw such a performance from this Gen 2 car that when the safety car was out, it allowed them to save so much energy that then we could have a flat-out race to the line, and that's not really what Formula E is all about. The fascinating thing is the lifting and coasting, the preserving of energy. We're back underway, and Andrea Lotterer looking under pressure from Sam Bird in 4th position, but decides against it going into turn 1 though. Freins in 5th, De Vries in 6th, Verne de Costa, Mortara and Van Dorn your top 10. But not really a braking zone into turn 1. Better overtaking at turn 3, and there's contact between De Vries and Freins. The two Dutchmen getting together, but getting away with it. And then into turn 5, a bit further back, some potential moves. James Collado being pushed to the outside and losing a spot to Neil Jarni for a moment. A little bit of damage to Andrea Lotterer's car, where there was a bit of contact. Sam Bird desperately trying to make a move down the inside into the Foro Sol, and that's a beautiful move.